This is Julie D., and you're listening to the Nordonia We Need to Talk podcast network, brought to you by NordoniaHills.news, recorded in the Gary Miller studio. Cleveland Sports Podcast starts now.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another fun-filled episode of the Cleveland Sports Show, just with me today, Darayus. Let's get started right away. We have a lot to talk about this Saturday afternoon. The first thing I want to talk about is the local sports team, the Nordonia Knights, defeating the Bedford Bearcats last night, which was my birthday, by the way. So a great birthday present for last night. Knights defeat the Bearcats by 6 points, 18-12. Knights outscored the Bearcats 8-6 in the fourth quarter, leading them to an 18-12 victory. Their next game will be in Woodridge, Friday, August 31st. That will be the Knights' second game, looking to go 2-0 to start the season. Another thing I wanted to talk about, this is going to be the main chunk of today's broadcast, is the new NBA schedule. A couple of weeks ago, the NBA announced their new schedule for all the teams, including the Cavaliers. The season will begin October 16th when the Philadelphia 76ers travel to Boston to take on the Celtics on opening night. And then just a day later at 7:30, the Cavs will open up against their Eastern Conference foe, the Toronto Raptors, at the Scotiabank Arena in downtown Toronto. Yes, they did change the name of that arena. It used to be called the Air Canada Centre, now known as Scotiabank Arena. That will be Kawhi Leonard's first official regular season game with the Toronto Raptors. Also, on October 16th, the night the Celtics play the 76ers, the Warriors will host the Oklahoma City Thunder in another highly anticipated and fun Western Conference matchup. The Warriors will be receiving their championship rings for a second consecutive year on opening night, and for the third time in 4 years. Another big day, marquee day in the NBA, we all know, is Christmas Day. And on December 25th, we have a host of games that are going to be a lot of fun. Again, we have the Eastern Conference rematch of the Philadelphia 76ers and Boston Celtics at 5:30. And then LeBron and the Los Angeles Lakers will travel out to Oakland to face the Warriors on Christmas Day as well. And also, the Houston Rockets will be hosting a Texas showdown in Houston against the Oklahoma City Thunder, Russell Westbrook and Paul George, and then we get to see the new-look Carmelo Anthony Rockets team. So, in all, I could definitely say I'm looking forward to the slate of games that the NBA has in store for us this season. That's only a small chunk of what I said for today for NBA games. I want to get into some of the predictions now for some of the games I just mentioned. But again, like I said, there are a plethora of more games that, especially in 2019, to look forward to. But for now, I'm going to give my predictions about what will happen in some of the games I just mentioned. So, to begin, we have the 76ers at the Celtics. These are the two most highly anticipated teams to come out of the Eastern Conference. This is possibly a Eastern Conference Finals showdown that we could be seeing all the way down in May. But I think that this is definitely a game that the Celtics should be able to hold serve at home. Opening night, they now have a full team. Gordon Hayward will make his Celtic return, only playing in his second regular season game for Boston. And then 76ers, Joel Embiid, and Ben Simmons will be making another debut for Philadelphia. But I definitely think it's going to be a close game due to the fact that it is the top two seeds in the East. But I think the Celtics will hold serve at home just because it is opening night, and the crowd we know in Boston is very, very... they're very rowdy and enthusiastic about their Celtics. Also, I wanted to get into the next night at 7:30 when the Cavs will take on the Raptors, visit Toronto to face the Raptors on October 17th. This is definitely one that I see the Cavs maybe struggling in just because of the fact that Kawhi Leonard is now there. If DeMar DeRozan was still there, then I would probably see it being much more of an even matchup, especially in the guards with now Colin Sexton being introduced into the Cavs lineup. I think just with that specialty and the fact that the Raptors have added Kawhi Leonard, I think that's what's going to be able to get them over the edge, especially on opening night in Canada. Next, Warriors and Thunder. That's going to be another fun game to watch on opening night. That'll be the second game of the back-to-back after Celtics Sixers, as I mentioned before. Like I said, I think this is a game that the Warriors should be able to hold serve in, even though they did lose their first game last year on the championship ring night to the Houston Rockets by 1 point, blowing a large lead, and then ultimately losing the game 122 to 121. But I think that this is a much different team now, especially with the addition of DeMarcus Cousins. Their whole starting five are all-stars. It's almost like an all-star game out there when you think of plus Russell Westbrook and Paul George being on Oklahoma City. If Oklahoma City start the year with a win in Oakland on the road, it's definitely going to be a huge boost for them, especially with how tough the West is now going to be with LeBron on the Lakers, and then you have Carmelo Anthony, plus James Harden and Chris Paul on the Rockets. So it definitely would be a huge, huge confidence booster for Oklahoma City. Now, Christmas Day is another big game. The one I want to talk about is the main game is the Los Angeles Lakers and Golden State Warriors. I do have some concerns that the Lakers might not be able to retain a strong hold on the game because the Warriors are at home and it's on Christmas Day, and we all know how Warriors fans are very passionate about their team. I just think that with the Lakers being on the road in their first year, I think with the experience that the Warriors have on Christmas Day, I think that the Warriors will be able to pull past the Los Angeles Lakers in a close game. I don't think it's going to be any blowout whatsoever because we know the greatness of LeBron James is, I think, on Christmas Day is going to propel them to get that win and inspire them to get that win. But I just think that Kevin Durant and Stephen Curry, especially the two best players on the Warriors, will be able to hold serve at home. So definitely a lot of home court advantage going up to teams prediction-wise so far in this podcast. But one game that I think that either team has a chance of winning, especially on Christmas Day, is Oklahoma City and Houston. I think that, especially the fact that Oklahoma City defeated Houston last year at the Toyota Center, I think that the Rockets may not be able to hold serve at home because of just Russell Westbrook's intensity on the road, and Paul George, we know what he's capable of doing on the road as well. We have to see what Chris Paul will bring to the table. I think James Harden will play well, but like I said, the Rockets, I said in the last podcast, the Rockets are kind of a hit or miss this year. I really have to see a couple of games before I can make a solid conclusion on how their season's going to go, because it's going to be very interesting to see how Carmelo Anthony is implemented in their offense this year. And like I said, I think Oklahoma City definitely have a better chance of winning in Houston than Los Angeles does than winning in Golden State, or Oakland in this case. Like I said, this is just a small preview of what's to come for this NBA season, but those are some of the major games, especially on opening night and Christmas Day, that I wanted to talk about. We will be back next week. Brady will be back next week as well. And we will be back for more news on the Nordonia Knights, as well as NBA news, and some more talk about the Browns and Cleveland Indians. Thank you very much for your time today. Have a wonderful weekend, and we will see you next week.